This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works, with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
Good morning, everyone. I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge here. Welcome on to the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown for today. I hope you guys have had a nice and comfortable morning for the most part. I hope you guys wore your layers this morning. Some areas were under a frost advisory, but frost advisories may be put on the back burner. Not many will be issued as we move through the days ahead, if any at all here. Temperatures aren't expected to reach close to that freezing mark, just like how we saw for this morning and the previous morning on Sunday morning, but we are expecting warmer conditions on the way for us, and that's going to be the main topic throughout this episode. We're going to be talking about what to expect for this work week as well as for the next one here, where mainly dry conditions are expected, but the main change that we will see here weather-wise in the Arklatex will be our temperatures. So let's dive right into the local forecast here for today. We're also going to be talking about the update on this year's hurricane season in this episode for today. Taking a live look at our KSLA tower camera sponsored by Mattress Plus. We are looking at clear skies overhead and calm conditions here on the ground. We're actually seeing some of the fall foliage start to appear in some of the trees there. If you did notice, I posted a video I believe it's on Saturday afternoon on the update on Shreveport Bossier's fall foliage, and I was taking the video in the park in Bossier, and I saw some fall foliage on the top of the trees. I took a quick video with my drone on different areas that I saw the fall foliage in. It's starting to come into fruition here, and as we move through the next couple of weeks, next week to 2 weeks, we should start to see more color on those trees there. But here's a live look across the country as of right now. We're dealing with a high pressure system currently, which is giving us these nice and beautiful conditions that we are seeing as of right now, and what we're going to be seeing throughout the rest of the work week here. But this high pressure system is expected to continue to move eastward, and that is going to cause us to feel warmer out here around the Arklatex. I'll give you guys a bit of more of a visual here as we go through the rest of this episode here. As you can see with the temperatures right now, we are sitting in the 60s across most of the Arklatex. 60 by Texarkana, 61 in Shreveport, same for Mansfield and Longview, Marshall, Carthage, all at 61 degrees. 59 for Natchitoches, 58 by Florine, around 59 for Minden, same for Idabel. Still sitting in the mid-50s up by DeQueen as of right now, taking their sweet time to warm up as we move through the day today. But taking myself off the screen here just to show you guys a bit of an illustration of what we can expect throughout this this work week here. High pressure system moves east, and so does that low pressure system associated with an upper level trough, and that's going to allow for southerly flow to return, mainly due to its clockwise motion, as you can see by the arrows there on the screen. Southerly flow returns, bringing back warm and humid conditions heading into the rest of the work week here. We won't feel warm, we won't feel humid, at least through the beginning of this work week. So today and tomorrow, not much humidity will be felt out there, but we could see some slightly muggy feeling conditions as we move into the later part of the work week, mainly by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this work week here. And the pattern remains zonal. Zonal meaning that horizontal in the upper levels there, as you can see with the yellows pretty much going from east to west, the orange is going from east to west, and as you can see there, that's pretty much what explains zonal flow. That's what zonal means. So zonal flow in the upper levels means that pretty much here in the Arklatex we'll be back to receiving a pretty much normal pattern for this time of year, which is southerly flow and warm and slightly humid conditions through the daytime hours. Here's a look at our highs for today, though. 69 by Homer and Ruston, potentially around the 70-degree mark for Minden as well. 74 by Shreveport and Bossier, and more than likely to hit the mid-70s over by the far western portions of the Arklatex and just outside of the region over in central Texas there. 73 for Marshall, 72 by Texarkana, and it gets cooler as you move to the eastern half of the region here. Now, moving myself back on the screen, we are expecting quiet conditions heading into the overnight hours for tonight, and chilly conditions are expected by early tomorrow morning. So temperatures similar to how Shreveport felt this past morning, that's expected across the Arklatex as Shreveport and Bossier and more urbanized areas will feel slightly warmer conditions as compared to everywhere else around the Arklatex. More than likely in the low to mid 40s across the region are expected for lows tonight here. As you can see by on the screen, we are watching temperatures, or we are looking at temperatures in the around 46 for Shreveport and Bossier, maybe the upper 40s by Texarkana. We could see some areas still be stuck in the 30s out there by Winfield, 41 for Coshada, Ruston, around 41 degrees as well, 45 for Mount Pleasant and Longview. And looks to be at around 43 near Marshall, 41 by DeQueen up in the far northern portions of the Arklatex. Now, you may be wondering if we are receiving clear skies through the overnight hours, why do we see cooler temperatures here? Now, this illustration is expected to explain that for you guys. Solar radiation heats the ground during the daytime hours. So moving through the afternoon hours, we should see warmer conditions out there, and temperatures will rise that's why temperatures will rise as high as they will be in the low to mid 70s across the region for the most part. Maybe some areas stuck in the upper 60s out there as of the latest update. But at night, that heat escapes back towards space. It leaves the surface and tries to make its way back towards space here. Now in this demonstration, they have clouds above us. So the clouds actually act as a blanket here to re-emit those heat particles back to the surface. And that's why with cloudy conditions through the overnight hours, that's why the surface conditions are a bit warmer as compared to if there was clear skies out. Now, if there were clear skies out, the radiation escapes into space, and that heat leaves the surface without returning back to the surface, making it feel cooler towards the ground as compared to warmer with the clouds over top of us here. So that's a little bit of a tidbit for you guys if you did not know that already. Just a little bit of some technical things to talk about here. But here's a look at what we can expect for tomorrow. Temperatures fall into the lower to mid 40s out there across the region. Some areas maybe one or two areas will hit the upper 40s out there, but we should see a warmer day overall in terms of highs and lows throughout our Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, southerly winds, and temperatures will make their way towards the mid and upper 70s across the region here. That temperature at 6 p.m. at the end of Tuesday was around 64 degrees. So temperatures will fall quickly once again back into those 40s by Wednesday morning. But here's a look at the next 5 days in terms of highs. We are expecting above average temperatures through the day for the most part today and throughout the rest of the work week. 78 by Tuesday for Shreveport Bossier, that is, and which means that everywhere around the Arklatex will see the mid and upper 70s for the most part. We're expecting upper 70s and lower 80s out there by Wednesday. Upper 80s would be a daily record high for us here in Shreveport. We are expecting the upper 70s and lower 80s through the rest of the work week and into this upcoming weekend here around the Arklatex. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. We are expecting our temperatures to rise into the lower to mid 70s for today, mid and upper 70s for Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're expecting the upper 70s and lower 80s out there across the region, and it may stay there as we move through the rest of the forecast period for the most part before our next cool down arrives as we move into our Saturday night into Sunday. If you did not see that already because of my head away in the middle of the screen there, we are expecting highs to jump from the lower 80s on Saturday back to the lower 70s as we move into our Sunday here. Look at lows throughout the week, though. We are expecting the 40s by Tuesday morning, 50s by Wednesday morning. We could see the 60s by Friday morning here, but temperatures or low temperatures will make their way back towards the 50s as we move towards this weekend here. But we are expecting our next cool down to arrive pretty soon, and it could come with an isolated shower or two. So coming up after the break, we're going to go into more of a long-range forecast, showing you guys what we can expect through the next 6 to 10 days, 8 to 14 days, and we're going to dive into some details on future track on about our next cold front moving through this upcoming weekend. And we're going to dive into the latest update on the tropics. So make sure to tune in to the podcast here. We're going to be back in around 2 minutes. So make sure to stay tuned in. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Here's a look at the temperature outlook through the next 6 to 10 days ahead. And as you may have seen throughout the morning show and throughout the past week or so, we are expecting above average temperatures to return here in the Arklatex. Not only for the Arklatex, but most of the western half of the country as well here, west of the Mississippi River for the most part here. But we could see below average temperatures up in the far north and eastern portions of the country there, but likely below average or likely above average temperatures for most of the country just east of the Mississippi, as mentioned before. But through the next 8 to 14 days, this high risk for above average temperatures moves eastward to include the Arklatex. So we're going to be even more likely to see above average temperatures through the next 8 to 14 days as compared to the next 6 to 10 days ahead. But how this compares to our precipitation outlook, we are more than likely going to see drier than average conditions through the next 6 to 10 days. And that goes right on par with our 7-day forecast that we saw just moments ago before we headed into that 2-minute break there. We're more than likely going to see below average precipitation through the next 6 to 10 days, but potentially near normal precipitation through the next 8 to 14 days. So that just tells us that pretty much we're going to see slight rain chances be introduced into the forecast here, and that goes on par also with the cold front that we could potentially see bring about some rain showers, a rain shower or two through the overnight hours on our Saturday into our Sunday here. But looking at the rainfall potential, it shows absolutely nothing here. I'm going to move myself off of the screen just so you guys show that see that I'm not covering anything. Absolutely no rain is expected through the next 7 days ahead here. But that seems to be a little bit contradictory to what I'm about to show you, which is a long-range model. Showing you guys the potential for rain showers by Saturday night into Sunday, still in that 7-day period. But as you can see, there's a lot of uncertainty, or there are some uncertainties with the rainfall potential expected for the Arklatex through the next 7 days. So we'll continue to watch very closely and make sure to stay weather aware so we can give you the first alert to the latest updates we have weather-wise and precipitation-wise here in the Arklatex. As you can see throughout this work week here, not much is expected here around the Arklatex. I know you guys saw a little bit of green there by Friday morning, but there's not going to be much here. It's pretty much going to be maybe an isolated shower possible by Natchitoches, but for most of the area, we won't have to deal with any types of rain showers. Also, this is a high resolution model, so that it can introduce some rain chances or introduce some green colors on the screen that may not be there as we get closer in time as compared to the higher resolution models, which will more than likely not have anything in that at that moment. But dry conditions expected across the area throughout this work week, pretty much across the area. Here's a look at what we can expect heading into Saturday. Mostly dry conditions, but we will still deal with southerly flow, so clouds will be moving in from the south, but the cold front will start to approach from the north and west as we move towards the afternoon hours and slowly make its way into the Arklatex, heading towards the evening hours. I'm giving you guys the first alert to this, to the latest updates here on our next big cold front moving through the region. As you can see, it has a chance of bringing some rain showers through the overnight hours and into the early morning on our Sunday. As far as severe weather, we're too far out to see if it will bring any types of severe weather for that day here. But we are expecting that cold front to finally move out of the Arklatex by early on Sunday morning, and that's why we don't have any rain chances for our Sunday because it seems so unlikely that rain will occur in the area or any parts of the area here. But as you can see, moving throughout the rest of Sunday, we will see mostly clear skies and temperatures will have dropped quite a bit back to near or below the average for this time of year heading into our Sunday and into the following work week as well. Here's a look at the tropics now. We're going to talk tropics real fast. There's not any chance for the development out there in terms of any tropical activity, any types of new tropical storms or hurricanes or major hurricanes. And luckily we will have a bit of a break in the activity for right now at least. There's no chance of development through the next 7 days ahead. But there is a slight chance as we move into the next graphic. But I also wanted to note that right now we have, according to multiple sources, we have seen 13 tropical storms in the Atlantic, Gulf, and Caribbean Sea, or mostly in the Atlantic. But in the Atlantic Basin, we have seen 13 tropical storms, 5 hurricanes, and out of these 13 storms, 4 of them have become major hurricanes. That's Major Hurricane Aaron, that's Gabrielle, that's Humberto, as well as the most recent one, Hurricane Melissa, that caused some damage to the Caribbean islands there, which has since dissipated and out of anyone's hair. It's not a tropical storm anymore, but through the next week to 2 weeks, we do have a slight chance, 20 to 40% chance, to see something start to spin up or start to form over there in the Caribbean Sea, right by to the east of Mexico and to the west of the Caribbean islands there through the time frame of November 5th through the 11th, but also a 20 to 40% chance of development, a tropical development that is, through the time frame of November 12th through the 18th. So we'll have to keep an eye out on those storms that may start to form over there. There's a potential for it. There's not a high risk for it, but the Climate Prediction Center is saying that something may start to form. The conditions are favorable for tropical development in those areas, and there is a 20 to 40% chance that something will form in the area shaded in that light red color that you see there on the screen. So we'll have to watch that we'll have to continue to watch that very, very closely as we get closer in time to these dates that I just mentioned, November 5th through the 11th and November 12th through the 18th. We're expecting a new update as we move towards November 5th, so that would be Wednesday. So on Wednesday, when Evan goes over the tropical forecast as scheduled, he will be talking about any new potential for tropical systems in this area or anywhere in the Atlantic basin. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much, or thank you all for tuning into the episode for today. We're bringing back trivia for tomorrow, so we'll be live on the KSLA News 12 Facebook page as well as KSLA News 12 app on that as well, and on our website as well, just to test you guys' knowledge on precipitation, actually, the main types of precipitation. So study up for it. You guys are going to be tested on your knowledge on precipitation. That is different types of precipitation like snow, rain, sleet, hail, any types of precipitation that you may think of. So make sure to stay tuned to that. That episode starts right at 10:30 a.m. on our Tuesday morning here, which I will be the host of for the day. And meteorologist Evan Thomason will be back on the podcast through the rest of the week. Make sure to have a great rest of your day. It's going to get warmer, obviously, throughout the afternoon hours, but much warmer than what we saw for this morning, thankfully. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day today. And I will see you guys later on KSLA News 12 at noon. Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones will be back on the air for 4, 5, 6, and 10 p.m. shows today. And Meteorologist Evan Thomason will be back on the air tomorrow starting at 4:30 a.m. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again, and I will see you later on the shows.